Welcome to Tea Party Tonight, our fourth episode. Thank you so much for being here. The Old North Church recently restored its windows. It looks great, but I am disappointed they ignored my suggestion. Good luck to them, because sometimes it doesn't go so great. I know the last time I updated my windows, I lost Clippy. Plymouth Patuxent Museums are celebrating the settlement's 400-year anniversary with a new exhibit on meals in 1621. First on the menu, dirty water stew and mercury bread. The JFK Library and Museums have reopened, and they have a new exhibit about children in the White House. But I've learned over the past 4 years that making jokes about presidential children can get you fired from a comedy show. So, okay, here we go. Let's try one. Okay, the JFK Library has a new exhibit about children in the White House. The exhibit will be placed on the library fridge until the magnet fails, dropping it under the breakfast nook. Okay, I think it went okay. 2 men in Holyoke were accused of archaeological violation, vandalism, and trespassing after removing multiple dinosaur track fossils from a state reservation. They were stopped because they were seen carrying rocks and tools. I mean, come on, guys. If you want to smuggle out dinosaur stuff, you got to use Barbasol can. An 8th grade class in North Andover is doing a project attempting to clear the name of Elizabeth Johnson Jr., who was convicted of witchcraft in Salem in 1693. Cool, said any of the many wrongfully convicted people in American prisons today. With many states considering mandates for the COVID-19 vaccine, it's worth recalling that 115 years ago, the Supreme Court ruled that vaccinations could be enforced by law when a Massachusetts guy refused to get one. Well, yeah, sure, but that was before they had microchips. Popular historian Nathaniel Philbrook has a new book, Travels with George in Search of Washington and His Legacy, highlights a trip the first president took to unify the nation. And personally, I think it's a lot better than his last book, Leadership from the Tub, How One Stuck Man Divided the Country. The Smithsonian is reporting that in World War II, Nazis were developing a nuclear program using a uranium cube. 2 on the nose? I didn't mean to say nose. I meant you look good. It's working. It's working. Whatever you're doing is working. North Carolina is seeking to implement new social studies standards when the Fordham Institute gave the state's new standards a D-. Officials initially became worried when they noticed the state referred to as Top Carolina. That's not right. A Wall Street Journal editorial last month explored the question, is history grad school a waste of time? Nuh-uh, said a guy who thinks Indiana Jones is real and doesn't understand the difference between archaeology and history. Wait, do I understand the difference between archaeology and history? Shovels, I guess. I think it's shovels. This month, the House of Representatives voted to remove statues and busts of people who served in the Confederate Army and government. Just keep your mouth shut and bide your time, said the Benedict Arnold Monument in Saratoga. It's strange to even have Confederate statues in the Capitol building. When a team loses, you don't build monuments to that team in your own stadium. If that were true, there'd be a statue of the Phillies in every park in America. This month marks the 50-year anniversary of the Attica Prison Rebellion. In retaking the New York prison, law enforcement killed 128 men, including 9 hostages, and used ammunition banned by the Geneva Conventions. Pretty harsh, I know, but it was either that or give them better food and religious freedom. A new analysis of shoes believed to have been owned by Renaissance artist Michaelangelo have led scholars to speculate that the painter-sculptor was likely about 5'2". Did you hear that, Molly? It wouldn't have been embarrassing to dance with me. You would have looked like you were dancing with a genius, a beautiful genius. In Irish news, this month an 8-foot-tall ancient Celtic idol was unearthed in an Irish bog. Let's take a look at it. Breathtaking. It really is beautiful. Governor Charlie Baker has announced he will deploy the National Guard to help with the state's school bus driver shortage. It's better than the last plan to use the Coast Guard. A Boston woman visited every station on the T in 7 hours, 4 minutes, and 29 seconds. She now holds 2 records, fastest trip to visit every station and patient zero at most super spreader events. Revolutionary Spaces and the Tea Party Ships and Museum have just announced that, well, there will be Tea Party-related programming this year. There will be no Boston Tea Party reenactment in 2021. I guess it's up to me. This show is airing on September 30th, and we found out that exactly 60 years ago today, a county in Oregon actually cut a check to Great Britain for $1.95 to pay for what they calculated was their county's share of the debt for the Boston Tea Party. Oof, wait till they get the bill for Vietnam. Boston University made news this week when they committed to divesting from fossil fuels in a win for environmental activists. BU plans to use that money to double down on something they've already invested in heavily, ruining Kenmore Square. On September 30th, 1935, George Gershwin's Porgy and Bess premiered in Boston at the Emerson Colonial Theater. To honor this historic American opera, Weird Al Yankovic plans to finally release his parody, Porky and Bugs. Summertime and the living is not too difficult. Also, on September 30th, in 1787, the ship Columbia Revivida departed Boston on what would become the first time an American vessel circumnavigated the globe. Pretty impressive, sure, but did you hear about this lady that went to every MBTA station?